Mr. Speaker, between January 4th and February 16th of just this year, there were over 50 bomb threats that disproportionately targeted historically black colleges and universities, black churches, mosques, and synagogues across our country. These racially and ethnically targeted bomb threats have continued through the spring. They've sowed fear, disrupted academic institutions, and interfered with the ability of Americans to worship safely. They've also brought into focus the diversity of the current homeland security threat picture, reminded us that conventional threats like bombings deserve sustained attention, even as efforts to counter mass shootings and cyber threats have to be intensified. I introduced H.R. 6873, the Bombing Prevention Act of 2022, for the first time to authorize the Office of Bombing Prevention. For the past 15 years, the Office for Bombing Prevention has been responsible for coordinating DHS's efforts at preventing, protecting against and responding to improvised explosive devices here domestically and helping our partners and allies around the world do the same. The office is squarely focused on protecting critical infrastructure, working with private sector partners, supporting our federal, state, local, tribal, and territorial entities to mitigate explosive effects on critical infrastructure. To that end, it regularly engages with stakeholders, including educational stakeholders, about accessing the office's training and tools, such as its counter-IED capability. H.R. 6873 would bring needed permanence and predictability to the operations of this office and position it to build capacity to meet growing demands for its services. Importantly, my bill directs the office to develop a strategy that aligns its operations with the threat environment and stakeholder needs, improves the sharing of information about explosive threats, and enhances awareness of the office's capabilities to those around the country who are most at risk. The bill also directs the DHS Secretary to provide to public and private sector entities technical assistance services related to countering these explosive threats. Finally, to keep the office accountable, H.R. 6873 requires an annual report to Congress. This bipartisan legislation, which I was pleased to introduce with my colleague from Arkansas, Representative Rick Crawford, will better position the Office for Bombing Prevention to provide counter-explosive resources to stakeholders as our threat environment changes, making communities across America more secure and helping to ensure that in this country, no person should have to work, study, or worship while living in fear of a terrorist bombing. With that, I urge my colleagues to support this legislation and reserve the balance of my time.